and let us all do we can to build a better future. But now I want to hand it over to Daniel because you got us a fun story to listen to and talk about. What is going on?
Fun is a word that exists. But I think, okay, let's just get into this. So I found this video from our good friend Case Study QB, although everyone has to remember that QB definitely stands for quarterback. I'm determined to make this reality. And he has put up a video on our goodest friend, Hillary Rodham Clinton, who is really bummed that we're not going to be shooting people in Afghanistan, assuming we do pull out. Let's take a look.
Last night, we reported that you had Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice talking privately to members of Congress and raising serious concerns about the Biden plan to pull out of Afghanistan. Remember, both Rice and Clinton were secretaries of state. I think the intrigue here, obviously, is that Hillary has a different position than Biden. She was an early and fervent supporter of going into Afghanistan, staying in Afghanistan. I think it speaks to this lingering concern among a lot of people who've been involved in this issue over the years that the minute you get out, bad things could happen, even if there's a cost at being there. And Biden has basically come in and said, listen, everyone's been debating this for now years since post 9/11, and we're getting out and we're staying out.
So, Jim, in your report, you say that one committee member said that Condoleezza Rice, said that we're probably going to have to go back to Afghanistan if we leave now. What did you make of that comment?
I mean, that's the fear, right? That Afghanistan has been a breeding ground, really a training center for terrorists. And that if you take the U.S. presence out of there and you have a resurgent Taliban and you have bad actors congregating there and creating sort of a team and a mechanism for terrorism that spreads around the country,
that's
that
super
maybe
not
the
big.
U.S. has to go back in. I don't think America has the appetite, right? So many people have died. Most people don't pay attention to what we're doing there. Doesn't make sense to people. It's been an impossible region to have military intervention as far back as the mind can think. And so I don't know if there would be the American will to go back in there. I think after Iraq, after Afghanistan, people have had it. They think they want to really look at where's America's interest, where is it clear that we should be spending money, where should we putting our soldiers, where should we putting our time. And I think most people feel like Afghanistan or Iraq or getting involved in the Middle East is no longer something that people want to do.
Right, and I think what you're hearing from Clinton and Rice is a reflection of that, because they know there's a political reality. Okay, if you leave, getting back in if you need to is much more politically difficult.
Okay. First, okay. Corporate media, you cheerleaded on the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq. You turned a blind eye when Barack Obama led us from 2 wars to 7 wars, and we're still stuck in ridiculous regime change wars. In fact, we're seeing corporate media write articles upon articles about what we need to do about Iran. Oh, no, and oh, wait, we got to do something about Venezuela and Bolivia and everywhere else.
All these places that
all these places.
Freedom. They need freedom. They need freedom. We're showing in America right now.
What I mean, seriously, at this point, Afghanistan, we've been there for 20 years. There's nothing more we can do there. Even the Soviets didn't stay there as long as we did.
And by the
okay?
way,
and that is supposed to be the evil empire. Remember all that crap that you said, corporate media? Hold on, just for a few other things I just want to bring up. The fact that, again, you're seeing Hillary Rodham Clinton and Condoleezza Rice, 2 people of supposedly different political spectrums, that's BS, are saying that we can't leave Afghanistan. Hey, folks, there's still going to be a whole bunch of private contractors still in Afghanistan, and there will still be a small U.S. presence in Afghanistan. We're not leaving. So the thing is, the fact that those private contractors and some of those special forces will still be there, that's the perfect excuse for enough of a door opening for us to go right back into Afghanistan. We're not leaving Iraq. We're not leaving Afghanistan. We're not going to leave any of these other theaters. We're not going to do anything about the genocide that's happening in Yemen. We're not going to do anything about the open slave trade that's happening in Libya. We're not going to do anything about the constant bombing that's happening in Syria. Nothing's going to fundamentally change until there is a true anti-war movement. But see, the Democratic Party, and also the Republican Party, but let's focus on the Democrats because they're in charge. They have the majority in the House and Senate and the presidency. They have it all. They're making the internet meme come to life. Remember that meme of the drone with rainbow flags, stickers, hearts all over it? They're doing that. They're making sure that everyone can participate so we can could still do these ridiculous regime change wars. They want this to continue on. And I think I also want to end this on a humorous note because I have zero respect for Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice. They want to keep us in Afghanistan, a war that has cost us trillions of dollars. Ozzy whistles. Never trust a guy who promises to pull out. Daniel.
I mean, sometimes it works.
No, but seriously, I mean, at this point, I mean, the Democratic establishment just wants to to keep us in Afghanistan. This is just an excuse.
Yeah. This is exactly why I've been saying as soon as Biden announced this that I'm going to believe it when I believe it, because it's a little bit odd. Because right now we're already seeing the same stuff that we always see, that someone says, hey, we're going to get out of this place. And then all of a sudden, it's all of a sudden unstable. All of a sudden, there's all these new rogue actors that we never saw before. They're definitely not people we paid to do this. They're definitely not no change to anything that's already happened. They just want to keep the war machine turning. Condoleezza Rice, Hillary Clinton, both people that hopefully we do well enough that history accurately portrays them for exactly the kind of warmongers and terrible people that they are. And we're fighting to write that in the history books and have that be the narrative that goes forward. Because, man, if we lose this, that history book's going to be like, and then Hillary Clinton saved the Middle East and all was really good. We don't want that. Yeah. We should not be, as we are. We should not be the empire. We're the evil empire. We've done it. We have a control over the world, and we spend billions of dollars a year shooting at people that previous Americans trained who make $20 a month using refurbished or used or hand-me-down AK-47s. I actually learned recently that a huge amount of the people fighting in Afghanistan are using Mosin Nagants. That's really the most. I think that they were saying that's even more oftenly used than AK-47s. That's 100-year-old weapon used by people who were trained in anti-empire tactics by the U.S. All they have to do, it's the same thing with George Washington or Vietnam. All you have to do is not surrender, and you will eventually win.
Yep.
That's their entire strategy. That's all they have to do. The U.S. needs to leave. It needs to leave sooner than the time set. And every time I hear a story like this, it's just another reminder that something's going to happen, whether we create it or just put a magnifying glass. It's like, when the news is like, oh my God, a Tesla caught on fire, even though they catch on fire statistically a tenth the time as an ICE car, it's newsworthy. That's what I'm talking about. That's just what they're going to be doing. They're going to do everything in their power to make any reason to stay, because I think in a way they are right, that we won't want to send troops in again if we leave, though we do know they're going to keep the CIA in there, they're going to keep mercenaries in there, so I'm not even sure what we're doing anyway.